What is going on, everybody? My name is Jimmy Scalia, and you guys are listening to the Third Floor Lounge podcast on the HSP Network. What's that? The High Spot Podcast. Guys, go on YouTube, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. Check out all the new content we're coming out with all the time and be a part of the HSP experience. With that being said, love to dive into today's show with my co-host, Bill Hooper. Talk some NFL free agency. Bill, what the hell is going on with the Giants there? All of a sudden, I see they're making a little signings here and there. Kenny Golladay, who wants to go there?
It's all about Kenny Golladay today. Right now, that's where all the talk is. And, if we sign Kenny Golladay, if the Giants sign Kenny Golladay, there is no more excuses for Daniel Jones. Simple as that. You'll have all the high-powered weapons on offense. You'll have Golladay. You'll have Saquon, Slayton. You'll have all the pieces you want, all the pieces.
Pro Bowl tight end Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, Pro Bowl tight end Evan Ingram, if I must add. You'll have all the pieces in place, though. You'll have all the pieces in place, and you have this last year to finally prove that you're the quarterback in New York.
Yeah, that's a great point because, if he doesn't succeed with those guys, then it's like they might start showing him the way outside that facility. So, obviously, other things we saw with the Giants, Leonard Williams got signed to that big-time deal as well. And as soon as they signed there, all the other signings came out flooding, like John Ross. And they just recently signed Kyle Rudolph a couple hours ago, too.
Yeah. Leonard Williams is a big signing because he was the best pass rusher on the Giants last year. He had 11.5 sacks. He's huge on that interior line. If the Giants can have some outside presence on the defensive line, like some outside edge rushers, and that defensive line is going to be really good. Plus Nate Solder, actually, they reworked his contract. So he opted out last year, but he's actually, I think that's a decent signing, because they reworked his contract and he'll have some depth. It'll add some depth on the offensive line. So I think the Giants have made some good moves so far in free agency.
I think they're decent. It's obviously tough to judge a team that's, hasn't won a playoff game since Super Bowl 46.
Hey, at least it was a Super Bowl. At least it was.
The only problem was I was a freshman in high school when it happened, and I'm out of college now. So that could be a bit of a concern. But anyway, guys, there's been a lot of signings that's happened so far. Pretty much the Patriots signed every free agent there was possible. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Matthew Judon, Nelson Aguilar. The list just goes on and on and on. And Bill Belichick is seeing red right now. He wants to go back to the playoffs. He's like, this isn't Buffalo's division. We're getting this shit back this year. He's excited. He's ready to go. He's ready to prove that it wasn't Brady. It was him all along.
And that's the thing. He's getting older too, which makes it interesting because I guess he's just trying to win now. Like he just knows he doesn't have the quarterback in place to win, but I think he's signing all these guys, these skill positions, the tight end, the wide receiver. I guess he just wants to win. He just wants to win. And I don't blame him because there's not many years left that he's going to be coaching. And whether they draft a quarterback or just stick with Cam Newton just has a resurgence. I don't know what's going to happen at their quarterback situation. They don't have the quarterback to win, but now they have, the offensive pieces. They have some, they signed Kyle Van Noy again. They got all these interesting signings. So, they're just going all in. They're going all in. But I don't know if they have the quarterback to win. Maybe next year if they get a young quarterback, all the pieces will be in place to win, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, obviously there's that big confidence in Cam Newton moving forward. It's a great deal because it's 1 year. You see how he does with it. You see what you could do with the draft at the quarterback position. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people think they're necessarily done looking there. So that was interesting. Obviously that was the biggest story for agency so far with all the things, all the signings that they've just been going off. And don't forget too, you said a team you like too, how they managed free agency was defending Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yep, the Bucs. It's the Brady effect. It's simply the Brady effect. They re-signed Levante David. They signed Shaq Barrett to a team-friendly deal. They got Chris Godwin on the franchise tag. These guys just want to play with Tom Brady because he's a winner. He brings that culture to the Buccaneers. It's a culture of winning when Tom Brady steps in that locker room. And he's just one of the guys too. That's something that these guys love. Like they love him. Like they really want to win for him. He's like their king that they're willing to go into battle with, and that's why all these guys want to re-sign because, they have a better shot at a ring next year rather than going to like the Jets or make more. Let's say Shaquille Barrett would make more money on the Jets, right? But he knows he's just going to be losing year after year. He'd rather take a team-friendly deal but still win because these guys still want to win. They're still competitive. Even if they can make more money on a trash team like the Jaguars or something in free agency, they want to win, so they stay with the Bucs, and the Bucs will be really – I think they could repeat next year.
Yeah, they're definitely a contender for sure. And no, you're right. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Tom Brady, honestly? And they're not necessarily done yet because Leonard Fournette might not be returning. But this guy back here, James White, you might see him in a reunion with Tom Brady. As you know, Super Bowl 51, that dude just went off 3 touchdowns. Would have won Super Bowl MVP if Tom Brady's name wasn't Tom Brady in that comeback win. No discredit to him, but like you said, the Bucs even making huge moves. Shaq Barrett bringing back, Chris Godwin coming back. When they were on that boat. And Bruce Arians was like, no, all you fuckers are coming back. He wasn't lying. He was not lying. Like, it's pretty accurate because they were able to retain all the important guys, really, to say the least.
All that alcohol on the boat, it didn't change the fact that they were still going to re-sign everyone.
Nope. Liquid courage.
Exactly. But that actually gets to the next point with the Chiefs signing Joe Thuney, the Super Bowl losers this year. Because of their offensive line, mainly, and re-signing Joe Thuney, I really don't know where they're getting all this money from. I really don't know. They signed 5 years, $80 million. Like, aren't they paying Patrick Mahomes like $1 billion or something?
Well, there's the thing. He restructured his deal, and also Travis Kelce has made different restructures to his contract as well. So these guys trying to take out that staple from the Bucs playbook and trying to do what they can to get as many players as they can sign as well. I think a guy that they should also be targeting, maybe Juju Smith-Schuster, really good possession receiver, as we all know. The attitude can get a little out there sometimes, give some teams, some bulletin board material, as some might say. But in that Bucs game, like, Tyreek Hill wasn't doing much, and then no other receiver did anything for Kansas City. I think he'd be a nice fit there, honestly.
I personally think it would just be excess at that point. Like, you have all these skill weapons. You have all these offensive weapons. You have Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league. Like, he doesn't need another toy receiver to play with. He doesn't need one.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like, besides Tyreek Hill, what other good wide receivers do they have?
They don't have another good wide receiver, but they have Travis Kelce.
Okay, yeah.
They have Travis Kelce. They have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have good offensive talent, right? I just think you just get your defense down, you get your offensive line down, and Patrick Mahomes will do the rest. That's all they need.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think it's always going to be an area they're looking to improve. Andy Reid thinks. So yeah, that's interesting for sure. We saw Kyle Long go there, former Chicago Bear. He comes out of retirement. He's a Kansas City Chief. And talking about the Chicago Bears, Andy Dalton is coming to town, baby, to compete with Nick Foles for the starting quarterback job.
I think it's a decent signing. I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I think Andy Dalton is
coming from a Giants fan. What are your standards?
Listen.
They're to the ground.
There aren't a lot of options on the market. A good quarterback is so hard to find. They don't exist. Good quarterbacks you don't find good quarterbacks. So I'm not saying the Bears are going to be Super Bowl contenders, but Andy Dalton will at least keep them somewhat relevant. Maybe they'll go 9-7 and make the playoffs, which is good for the Bears at this point. I mean, it's not like they have a good quarterback to win the Super Bowl anyway, and they're not finding anyone anytime soon.
But this is the problem, though. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy have constantly been content with average quarterback play. They've never really taken that chance to try to get someone else or get even just a different name, like in the organization, a different play style. Like it's just always the same thing. And Bears fans are just like pulling their hair out. I don't blame them. And all of a sudden, you got Andy Dalton just like it's just kind of the same old thing. Look, I understand they tried to get Wilson. It didn't work. And that's not the easiest thing to do to get Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they tried. And that's the thing. The Bears have never had a good quarterback in their history.
Ever.
In their history. Jim McMahon is like their best quarterback, and he wasn't even a good quarterback.
Debatable. Yeah, I think Jay Cutler was their best quarterback.
Jay Cutler, yeah. Actually, he was their best quarterback, and he was okay, but, like, it's not like he was leading them to any Super Bowls, and that's just – I don't know. It's the long history of the Bears. It's unfortunate for Bears fans. They have the Packers, who have had a great quarterback for the last 30 years almost coming on, like with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They've always had a good quarterback for a long time, and the Bears have never had one. You know, at least any Bears fans that are alive now, maybe in like the 30s or whatever, they had a couple of good quarterbacks, but like no one even knows about that time.
No. And I'm checking my phone constantly because there could be signings any chance we get. I just want to let you guys know, Andy Dalton just had his press conference. This is what he said. They told me I was the starter. That was one of the reasons I wanted to come here. That's the insurance I got. He's the starter. It's March 18th. He's the starter. What does that mean?
It means that the Bears can go 9-7 and maybe sneak into a wild card playoff spot.
Oh my God, Bill! Why do you keep making excuses for them? Why are they telling Andy Dalton he's the starting quarterback? It's March 18th. What does that mean?
I'm not totally disagreeing with you. Listen, Ryan Pace is.
I am sticking up for Bears fans. They are sick of this shit, Bill. Okay, they're done with this. Like,
I get it.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like,
I get it.
Nick Foles, at least he's on the roster. His playoff wins. Like, and I'm not even like a big Nick Foles guy, but like, why is he being brought in with a red carpet outside the facility? Like, that doesn't make sense at all.
It makes no sense. The Bears have just constantly made bad decisions with their quarterback. I'm honestly gonna say, Mitch Trubisky might be the worst draft pick of all time, at least in the last 20 years. You literally traded up. You gave up assets to trade up to get the worst quarterback in that draft, basically.
Terrible.
You had Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, two top 5 QBs in the league.
Staring you in the face.
And you traded up to draft the worst of the 3.
That's terrible.
It's
impressive.
I just feel the Bears fans' pain. I feel their pain.
Yeah. No, it's the equivalent to when I place in an 8-leg parlay and I get every leg wrong. I look at it and I'm like, that's kind of impressive how I got every single one. In a way,
literally. They just seem to make bad decision after bad decision. Pace is just I like that he went off for Russell Wilson. It's really hard to get him, but he's one of the worst GMs. I'm sorry. He just
terrible.
They just can't pick quarterbacks in Chicago. Is it something in the water?
I don't know. Don't know what's going on there. I have no clue. But that's absolutely ridiculous that Andy Dalton was told that he is the starting quarterback. I can't believe that. Moving on to something a little less stressful, I think the team that has really found a way to, maybe not win free agency, but I think they've made the best value signing. I got to go with the Washington football team. You bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick. Finally, look at that. A veteran quarterback with stability, with an injury history you really don't have to worry about. No dishes to Alex Smith at all. I respect him a lot. But Ryan Fitzpatrick playing pretty good football with Miami. Let's be honest. If he stayed in the lineup, they would have made the playoffs. You get Curtis Samuel on a 3-year, $35 million deal. Great value there. He's going to be paired up great with Terry McLaurin. And then you also pick up William Jackson as a guy that could possibly, he's almost a shutdown corner in his own right. I'm a really big fan of him. And what he was able to do on a bad Bengals team, nobody really cared. But I think Washington had some pretty great signings, honestly.
Yeah, I think they've actually they might be the favorites in the NFC East now. Like the Giants are obviously, with Daniel Jones, we don't know how he's going to perform. The Eagles, you don't even know what's happening over there. They just traded Wentz. They're going with Hurts now. And then the Cowboys, they have a mad defense. But then you look at the Washington football team, they have Heineke and Fitzpatrick who can battle it out for the starting position. Heineke showed like some flashes. I'm not saying he's going to be a good starter in the league, but he showed some flashes in the playoffs. He showed some flashes, in the regular season at the end. So he might be solid. And then Ryan Fitzpatrick has a proven history of like having 3 really good games and then having a bad game and then having a few good games. So like he's a decent quarterback, but then that's just like the beginning because you look at their defense. Their defense is really good, and that's going to be their staple. That's going to be their staple. So I think the Washington football team, they're gonna. I would call them the favorites in the NFC East this year.
Like when they played Tampa in the wild card round, it was a close game. They fought pretty hard.
And that's the Super Bowl champions. Those were the Super Bowl champions, and they played really close. It was not the Bucs did not run away with that. The Washington football team almost pulled that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like you got to respect them, for what they've done. Obviously, Ron Rivera is a huge part of what's going on there in Washington. Some other guys that haven't been signed yet either, because let's be honest, we really can't track everybody that's been signed. There's been a shitload of stuff. I'm looking right now. Trent Williams, he's the highest paid offensive lineman right now, staying in San Francisco. As we said, the Bucs kept a lot of their guys. John Johnson, that's a nice signing from Cleveland. And they're a defense that are trying to get together because if that defense can get a little stronger, they can make a nice push. But some guys also haven't been signed. I think they're quality. Melvin Ingram from the Chargers, he's been a great pass rusher for the past couple of years. Even Anthony Harris. And one of my favorites, actually, Troy Hill from the Rams. This guy had a couple of defensive touchdowns last season and has yet to find a home yet. But that'll probably be changing very quickly.
Yeah, there are some I'd say the biggest free agent right now is still Golladay. He's waiting to sign. Yeah. But an interesting story is Trent Williams to me because he was like I thought he was like done for a while. Like he was injured for like a whole year. Like in 2019 he didn't even play. And like he was a good offensive lineman throughout his career, like one of the best in the league. And I was like, okay, maybe he's washed, maybe the injuries caught up to him. But then 2019, this year, 2020, he had one of his best years. Like his PFF grade was like 92. Yeah. So he just snapped in. He was just ready to go. And now he becomes the highest paid offensive lineman, you said?
Yeah, NFL history. So it's
NFL, like that's all of a sudden he's just back and he's still a solid offensive lineman. Those stories are always interesting to me, guys that are injured for like a year and then they just bounce back and they're immediately just as good as they were, if not better than they were the year before.
Yeah, they finally got by all that because, earlier in his career, he had a headache. He goes to Washington, the trainers, they're like, no, it's fine. He finds out there's a tumor in his head. This guy, could have possibly died. And, Washington really didn't do much about it. So that relationship was really, really strained. And then San Francisco was a perfect landing spot because Kyle Shanahan used to be in Washington. And Kyle Shanahan, a lot of guys respect him and like to play for him. So, Trent Williams is definitely going to go all out for him as well. But, you just go down the list right now, too. Don't forget, Vikings had a former Giant, Dalton Tomlinson. Breaking my heart a little. They obviously signed Patrick Peterson. And Patrick Peterson, I want to thank him for all the years in Arizona. But it was definitely time to make that
the Vikings always seem to steal Giants interior linemen,
Yeah.
They signed Linval Joseph and now they signed Dalvin Tomlinson. It sucks. I really hate to see them both go, especially Tomlinson, because he's been consistently one of our best players on the Giants. At least PFF always – when I always see the game grades after the Giants games, PFF always has Dalvin Tomlinson top 3 grades on the team. He's been the one bright spot in all the misery that's been the Giants for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. He's always been a pretty good player. I've always been a fan. It was kind of sad that they weren't able to keep him, obviously, but they were able to keep Leonard Williams. But also, there's 2 more breaking news right now as we continue this show. Will Fuller has found a new home, and that is the Miami Dolphins. Wow. He's going down He's taking his talent to South Beach, okay?
I like that. I don't know if Tua can provide that deep threat that Will Fuller needs. I don't know if he has the arm strength for that. Maybe he does, maybe. But I think that's a good signing. They get some talent on the wide receiver for the wide receiver, and Will Fuller was finally able to stay healthy this year. He only missed like a few games, I believe. Because prior to this year, Will Fuller missed like half of the year every single year. He missed like half of the year due to like his hamstring issues. So this year he's actually able to stay healthy. So I think that's a solid signing.
Yeah, that's good because you think about Devontae Parker. He's a big-bodied receiver. Mike Gesicki, another big body. Great to have somebody like Will Fuller who will really stretch the field. Within that offense. So I actually do like that signing. I'm a fan of it. I'm shocked he didn't get more than a 1-year deal with someone, but a couple million's a couple million, I guess. Works out. Also, this one's like actually not player related. The NFL has agreed to a new media rights deal for 11 years, $10 billion, over 110 billion over the course of the whole deal, and that means that ESPN and ABC will be within the Super Bowl rotation. And guess what? This is the best news, right, for this, Bill?
Yeah.
Monday Night Football can finally flex games now. So those garbage Monday Night Football games that we have to watch, like Week 11, Week 12, those always stapled in. Guess what? Those could possibly be different games now, competitive ones.
That's awesome. That always – like watching the Jaguars Titans on in week 11 or something when they're both, have losing records. Those always were bad games to watch. But that's really cool that the stakes will be high in certain games, later in the year.
You actually want to tune in to Monday Night Football
exactly
in that circumstance. So that's pretty big news, though.
Those are two big news pieces,
Yeah, definitely. So, I think that would probably just about do it for us. Look, obviously there's a lot of big names that we missed, but there's going to be even more stuff happening in the coming days as well. And, guys, I promise we're going to be covering some basketball stuff, too. I know it's just the NFL world. It just swoops up off your feet and takes all the big major headlines. But don't forget, Brooklyn is going right, and they're going right back and forth with Philly right now for that 1 seed with Embiid out. Embiid is out and KD is out. Harden is going off. And I have a lot of words about that. Bill, any parting words about maybe an NBA tease for our next episode?
Yeah, I mean, I think talking about the Brooklyn Nets would be great, especially, in this area. People want to hear about the Brooklyn Nets because they're finally like – I'd be surprised if they don't win the championships, to be honest, the championship. But that's for another day. So,
You heard it here first. Heard it here first from Bill. All right, so definitely, guys, get your bet slips in. Nets are winning the championship, and if not, you can blame Bill Hooper for that. With that being said, guys, just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Third Floor Lounge podcast. Guys, don't forget, subscribe to High Spot Podcast on YouTube. Hit the notification bell and check out all the new content we're constantly coming out with. For now, and I'm checking one last time. I don't see any more breaking news right now. Looks like the last thing that Ian Rappaport tweeted about was Mitch Trubisky. I think we're good to go. We're going to say take care, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.